The Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether you're buying or selling, whether for your forever home or that quiet desert vacation getaway, Kyle Garman and the team at Keller Williams have the experience and skill to make the process simple and convenient. Check them out today at kylegarman.kw.com. Our podcast is also brought to you by DesertDefenseLawyers.com, DUI and criminal defense throughout the Coachella Valley. The criminal justice system is scary and confusing, but relief is just a click away at DesertDefenseLawyers.com, where we've been keeping folks out of the penalty box since 2008. The Coachella Valley Firebirds are bringing the Valley closer together, and the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is your weekly dose of everything Firebirds. If you have suggestions for guests or questions you'd like answered or anything you want to add, be sure to leave them in the comments. If you like what you hear, please remember to hit that like button for this episode and be sure to subscribe. So if you're ready, here we go. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1.
Firebirds goal! Scoring his 13th goal of the playoff. The captain, number 17, Max McCormick, assisted by number 19, Cameron Hughes. Welcome to the Firebirds Fan Zone with your hosts, David and Kyle.
Wow, that's pretty good. Really? Here we go. Here we go again. It just seems like yesterday we started recording, but
I know.
I don't even know what episode number this is. I don't think it really matters.
Doesn't matter.
This is a big one.
This is a good one.
This is a big one today.
Really excited.
We have number 41, defenseman extraordinaire, Ryker Evans. What's up?
The Ryker Evans.
The Ryker Evans. What's up? Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We were just talking a little bit before we started recording. I know you haven't listened to the podcast yet. You will, right? After this, you're going to be hooked.
I have to, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to, right? We're just three fellas talking on the couch. That's all we are. But we got a lot of questions for you. A lot of questions for you. We always start the same way. Who are you? Where you're from?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Not many people know, but there's actually quite a few snowbirds that come down from Calgary. So there's a decent amount of us. And yeah, I'm from Calgary, grew up there. Canada, cold place. So coming down to the warm's pretty awesome.
I bet.
You ever go to the Stampede?
Yeah, I go here and there. It's a bit overrated.
I'm not even sure quite what it is. I just heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that?
What is it?
It's like it's a rodeo.
Oh.
So they hold a rodeo there for, I believe it's 10 or 12 days.
Really?
It's a big thing. Like everyone from Canada goes.
So is it like the Coachella Fest, or Stagecoach?
Yeah.
Basically, it's like, okay, we're going to have our annual event. But
yeah.
I had a buddy that I worked with, and actually he was a professional writer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did construction, but then part-time he would actually just live in his little trailer or RV, and he would travel the circuit, and he would ride.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig. I think next to hockey, I think it's the next toughest sport.
It is crazy. Yeah, we go to rodeos all the time in the summer, and just what those guys have to go through is insane.
You ever ride? You ever try?
I've never tried. No.
Have you ever been on a horse?
I don't think I have. Maybe when I was younger, but I haven't recently.
Okay.
I want to though.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It is. I've been on one, and I equipped it to being on a jet ski. Because
wait, you were in a bull?
No, I was on a horse, man.
A horse,
not a bull. Yeah, no.
Well,
I think of horses. Yeah, no.
That would be almost better.
That would be better.
A bull,
yeah.
I think would be too much. I think I would do the ones in the bar.
I was just how about the?
I would do the ones in the
bar,
dude. I think that I'm comfortable with, but I think outside of that, I'm good, man. I don't think that's gonna end well for me.
Yeah, or maybe even the bull. Probably that might hurt him a little bit. All right, so you're from Calgary. You are what? 20? You're born in what? 2001, right?
Yeah.
December 13th, if memory serves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
I did my research.
You did. I was going to say, you've been online.
The first question I think everybody asks every professional hockey player is, how old were you when you started skating?
Yeah.
I started skating when I was 2.
2 years
And
old.
just because it was the thing to do, or did your dad throw skates on you?
Yeah, so my dad used to play. He played NCAA. He was at UMass Amherst.
Oh, wow.
So he played there, and then he went over and played pro in Germany for a little bit.
Okay.
And then they came back to Calgary, and they threw me in skates when I was 2.
What's your earliest memory of being on the ice?
Honestly, it'd probably be I was in Medicine Hat, Alberta, and like my parents and my grandpa took me out to like a public skate. We were ripping up there for a little bit.
Did you imagine yourself being where you are now when you were in that moment?
Not really, no. I honestly, like, thinking about like where I could have been, it didn't really come till like halfway through like my draft year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, well, hang on.
Yeah,
You
let's
had to
back
get-
up.
Yeah, you had
Let's
to
back
get
up.
to your draft year.
I know,
right?
Exactly.
yeah.
You played what, mites, and then you worked your way up, I'm sure. And,
Exactly, yeah.
And did you do college route or did you go to juniors?
I went junior. Yeah.
Okay.
I played for Regina Pats
Okay.
Go Pats.
in the Western
Pats.
Hockey League, yeah. And I mean, that was good. They taught me a lot, especially about the game and just like what you have to do off the ice. I had great billets. That made it like 1,000 times better.
Okay.
Awesome food.
Right on. I've noticed, and I want to kind of go in a little order here, but I've noticed, having watched you play now for a full season, we're going to talk about that for sure, you seem to have a pretty acute hockey IQ. How do you think that developed?
Honestly, it's just through playing. Through time, you pick up certain things and you know certain tendencies that are going to happen throughout the game. And then obviously it gets a bit easier because you learn it quicker. So I think just through time, you slowly develop those kind of things.
Who was one of your idols? Like, because I remember playing some basketball, but mostly you emulate a lot of player style. Was there somebody that you saw and you were like, I'm going to steal from them or them? Was it a handful of people? Like,
Yeah, honestly, like my favorite player growing up was Joe Sakic. So he's a forward.
awesome.
I couldn't really take much from his game other than his shot, maybe. Something you want to work on, but
You got a shot. That's
Yeah.
for
and
sure.
I mean, usually just taking little bits and pieces from different defensemen's game. I think that's the best part about all this is like the video you have, so
Yep.
you can kind of break down different guys' game styles and take little things and put them in your game.
That's awesome.
Wide defense.
Honestly, I have no idea. I think when we started doing mites, I just happened to be always back, so he was like, my
Just
dad
felt
was
right.
like, you know what, we're just gonna throw him on defense.
So it's kind of like did you have like an instinct? Because I do know, again, I'll equate it to basketball. Because when I watch you guys play, it's very similar in that style where it's all about positioning. It's all about getting back or making the breakaways, right, and all those things. But I do know that there's certain guys that have better tendencies to play defense versus offense.
Yeah.
I was more of an offense. I was a point guard, so I was more of an offensive type person. I could still play defense.
He was
but
more offensive.
a little bit, yeah. Well, that's another episode.
Yeah.
But I do know that there's that gravitation towards wanting to play that position a little more. You just have a better sense of it. Is that kind of how you fell into it, or
Yeah.
you were just told this is what you're gonna do?
That and like you got to take care of your net. You're not letting anyone else score
I like that.
other than the goalie, but like you're kind of controlling everything.
That's right.
Especially like all the defensemen, we're kind of like the quarterbacks in a sense. So you control what goes on, how fast the game goes.
Ooh. Okay. Can we explore that? Because I didn't know a lot about hockey, much like a lot of people who are watching this. I kind of represent that newer fan base. I didn't really get to know. So you're saying the defensemen control a little, like the tempo?
We do, yeah, because, I mean, you see pucks getting flipped in the neutral zone
Mm-hmm.
or breakouts.
Yep.
I mean, we could hold the puck, and they call it ragging it.
Ragging
So, like,
it?
Yeah, so, like,
Nice.
we slow it down.
Okay.
And, like, most times you want to play fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get up into the forwards' hands as quick as possible.
Nice.
So, I mean, we could slow the game down if we want.
Or you can speed it up.
Exactly.
What would be a
Dude.
reason to slow it down?
I mean, if they're changing, your forwards are tired.
Got it. Okay.
Sometimes the systems, they want you to be a bit slower.
Mm.
So it all really depends.
Okay, and but I mean, from what our eye has seen, I mean, you guys play pretty fast.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we want to
Is
play.
that Disco's sort of mentality? Was he preaching that, like, last season? This is who we're going to be.
Yeah, that's kind of our team identity is playing fast.
Well, you do it.
You definitely do.
Yeah, you guys nailed it.
For sure.
Well done. Nice execution.
You talked about your draft year. What year was that?
2020. I believe.
2020.
Maybe 2021.
And it was
a blur.
What the Kraken drafted you. Second round, 35th overall, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Online.
Oh, thank you, Internet.
What was
Thanks,
that
Google.
experience like, though?
Yeah.
I mean, you finally, there you are, right? And like you said, you didn't really think it was going to be a thing, and then all of a sudden, I'm from Seattle, so I have a heart for for the area. But they're a new franchise. You don't know what to expect from them, right? They're still growing. They had a rough first year. There was some growing pains there, obviously. But and had you ever been to the Northwest? Like, what was that experience like for you? All of a sudden, getting the call and doing that, and going up there and playing up there in the city and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. It was more so the opportunity that was there. Them being a new franchise, like there was so much opportunity to do things like we're doing here.
Right.
Where we come down and I get the opportunity to play, grow my game, and I mean, to go with the draft, it was kind of crazy because it was my second go around. So like usually you get drafted when you're 18.
Okay.
But I got drafted when I was like 19, almost 20. So like it's like the last part of the draft.
Really?
Like that you can go through.
Then what happens after that?
And then you become a free agent and you can sign with any team.
Oh.
Hang on, I'm not familiar with that, so let's back up a little bit.
There you
So
go. Yeah.
you're playing juniors.
Yeah.
You're killing it. Who calls you up and says, "Hey, sign up for the draft"? Like, how do you get into consideration for the draft?
So usually you can play junior ranges from 16 to 20. And so usually guys are getting looked at when they're 16, 17, and then 18 is their draft year.
Okay.
And then so you have from 18, 19, and 20 to get drafted.
And so you have an agent, right, or something? Someone that you say, "Hey, just handle this for me."
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah. So you have an agent there, and obviously you go out there and you play, and you do your thing, and you hope teams like what you're bringing. And so that agent is going around to general managers, and he's talking about you and like all the positive things that you could bring to them. And then obviously they have their scouts there watching games, breaking you down. And then you go for interviews and stuff. They'll take you out for dinners.
Nice.
Wine you and dine you a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
Exactly, get to know you.
How is that on a psychological level, though? I mean, being a young guy, right? I mean, and then having to be under the microscope like that. How do you prepare for something like that? That's intense.
Honestly, like, it's kind of crazy to think about, like, not in my perspective, because, like, I didn't feel like I had that much pressure, but, like, there are guys out there that are going in the top 5 that have all, like, this pressure from the media to go out there and perform, and they're honestly, I don't know if they're able to enjoy it as much, like, and have fun, because they're expected to do something because they're one of these top 5 players.
Sure. So you never felt that extra pressure. Not saying that you're not a top player.
No.
I mean, obviously you're skilled.
Obviously you are,
Yeah.
but
You're awesome. But I mean, so you were able to enjoy it a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Because I was actually talking to my neighbor. His son played professional baseball. His daughter was a professional Olympic skater. So, he kind of knew, and he still coaches little kids. And his thing was around that too, about all that extra pressure these parents are putting on these kids.
did your parents put pressure on you?
No, they were awesome. Like, my dad got it. So, like, he knows, he'll tell me little things, but, like, he's not hounding me after games if you have a bad game or, like, anything. Like, they were super awesome about it, and they got it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were enjoying the whole process. You didn't feel that actually mom and dad aren't like, you got to make it,
Exactly,
make it.
yeah.
It's good for you. That's great, because it can ruin the entire experience.
It has, and I've seen it for sure. Like, kids coming up that it's complete, their parents have ruined it because, I mean, they're so hard on them, and then, like, they have expectations that they're not living up to, and then they just don't end up going forward.
We talked. Well, Ed was in the chair too. He was the official off ice, and he said because he played a lot until he couldn't, and then but he reffed a bit, and we talked about the parents.
Yeah, talk about hockey parents.
Yeah, and just how they were putting that extra pressure on their kids.
They're
and
crazy. They're a different breed.
We talked about that.
They're a
talked
different
about-
breed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's insane.
But you didn't have that. That's good. Like you're definitely one of the rare few. When did you know you were gonna get? Because every draft movie I've ever seen, the player knows they're gonna get the call before they get the call. When did you know you were gonna get the call from Seattle?
I didn't really.
You didn't.
So I got passed through my first time, and then it was the next year. And I knew I had a pretty good year. And then I talked to a couple teams, Seattle being one of them. And, I mean, I had a good interview with them. I thought it went well. So, I mean, the first round goes the one day, and then the next day is, like, the rest of them. So I obviously knew it was going to be the later rounds, didn't know when. And I happened to be sleeping at the time still.
Get out of here. Really?
Yeah, there's a video on the internet somewhere where there's, like, me on the phone with Ron. And
You just woke up.
I happened to, like, I knew what time it started. It started around, like, 9. And I was up, but, like, I was just laying in bed. And
Wondering if the call was going to come or wondering what you're going to eat for
Yeah.
breakfast.
Playing like Fortnite. Like, what were you doing? Are you just hanging out?
I was just
like,
hanging out probably on TikTok or something.
That's
No, my parents had the TV or the draft on the TV there.
Mm-hmm.
They're upstairs, and my name got called on the TV before I got called.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
they're upstairs jumping around, and I'm like, what
Freaking out.
what
You
the
guys
hell's
shut
going
up.
on?
I'm trying to sleep
Oh,
down
yeah.
here.
I'm like, what the hell's going on up there? And then I get a call from a known number, and it was Ron, and I was, like when you have like the quiver in your voice.
Yeah. Did
Because
your
you
throat
you
go
don't
dry?
know, you don't know what. So that was what happened, and it was a short conversation, but it was pretty cool.
Was there a wave of emotion of like surrealness and like that sort of like, holy crap, this just happened? Like, how did you process that?
Not really. It took a couple weeks because there was just like a bunch of things that went on after, and like you didn't really get to like sit back and like.
Like, what is that process? What? So you get the call, you celebrate for 5 minutes with your parents. What happens next?
Yeah, so that was the year where no one went to the draft. It was like the COVID year.
Oh yeah.
A couple of guys went to the draft, and then so then it was just media stuff. We were on Zoom calls, phone calls, all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
And then like my mom was like quick to try to set up like a party or something. So everything was going fast that day.
Oh, wow.
I bet.
How long from the time you got the call till you had to pack up and get on a plane to Seattle, I assume?
It was 4 days. Yeah, 4 days.
4 days?
Let's go.
And it was just development camp. So you're there for like 4 or 5 days, and then you came back.
What was that like?
It was pretty cool. Yeah, especially seeing all the brand new facilities they had.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And how'd you like the city? I mean, you don't have to.
Honestly, it's unbelievable in the summer.
Isn't
like
it, though?
the water, you got the water. It's sunny out, but like it's only when it's sunny.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I'm here because I was born and raised in that area, and I agree with you. There's probably a good 3 to 4 months where it's God's country. I mean, you cannot beat it. You see the rain.
Kind of like here.
The
Well,
mountains.
no, it's 9 months awesome here where there's
That's
3 to
true,
4
9,
months.
yeah,
You just reverse it, dude. That's
Got
why.
it.
That's why.
Okay.
So I mean, you see Mount Rainier. The leaves, the trees, the birds are out, right? Yeah, you go down to the water. I absolutely agree. I've always told
You
people
see all the boats out there.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
awesome.
Like Washington's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever catch one of the when they had the hydroplane races? Of course,
I
it was around
haven't. No.
COVID.
Yeah.
So those are awesome.
Do they happen every year?
Yeah, well, they did. I mean,
Yeah.
right there in like Washington, they'd have the boat races.
That'd be sweet.
Did you ever
Yeah.
catch a Seahawks game by any chance?
I haven't yet. No. Mariners game though. We went to. Yeah.
Okay.
They played the Blue Jays. So like half the stadium was Blue Jays fans.
Yeah. All right.
They just came down from British
They
Columbia.
do.
or
They
Vancouver.
represent. So
yeah.
my town that I'm from is Bellingham, which
Okay.
borders.
Yeah, you're pretty much on the border.
Correct.
With,
Yeah.
Yeah. So being from Bellingham, and we'd have British Columbian. A lot of license plates, Costco, right? They're buying a lot of stuff, bringing it across the border, getting gas. That was the most craziest thing I've ever witnessed, man. So I didn't realize how bad it was up there. But you try to get gas in Bellingham, and if you saw Canadians, you avoided the gas station because not only would they fill up their car, but they'd have 5-gallon gas cans, and they're filling them up. Every single one of them, they put them in their trunk. And they'd take them across the border because of the stuff it was just crazy like that.
That is crazy.
But I could see where Blue Jay fans are showing up.
Yeah.
And they represent pretty hard. There's a lot of Seahawk fans up there too.
Yeah, there are.
Pretty amazing.
There are.
So what happens after development camp?
You head back home for the summer, train a bit, and then
Well, everybody talks about you behind your back.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then main camp.
What's that like?
It's pretty cool, especially the first year.
A lot of fights?
No, not really, so usually there's a rookie camp, but like we didn't have that many guys, so we just went right into the main camp.
Oh, wow. So you didn't have to do rookie camp?
No, not that year. Yeah, so it was pretty cool, but yeah, you just get into the main camp, and like at first, like it's kind of like surreal because like you're like, oh, I was just watching all these guys on TV, but then like you slowly get used to it, and then you find your way.
I remember when I was about 24, that's right around that time I started playing hockey. Like I learned how to skate, took lessons. We formed a team where I worked, but we went to hockey camp up in northern Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And I guess wherever we were is where the San Jose Sharks had their training camp. And they had an intra-squad scrimmage that we all went to. And no kidding, I have never seen that many fights in my life. And I've seen a lot of hockey games. So that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
And I guess, and someone told me it's because they're all literally fighting for a spot, right? Fighting for a job.
Trying to stand out.
Was that what it was like for you, or did?
No, I mean, like obviously those guys are trying to get noticed, so they're doing everything they can, and if they're good at fighting, they're gonna fight.
Mm-hmm. And you got noticed with your skating and your shooting and your talent.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm not much of a fighter, so I gotta stand out in other ways.
Well, I mean, you've got your share of penalty minutes, though.
Yeah, even in the box.
Yeah.
We talked to RJ a little bit about that because he, when he was playing at his time, he was a fighter.
Ed.
Oh, really?
RJ? Oh, RJ. Yeah.
RJ
was a fighter.
Yeah.
Like that was his job, was to fight.
Yeah, he was told actually.
Yeah.
I think from on the junior squad, it was like, if you want to make this team, this is part of the role that you're going to play. And then
that's crazy.
He said guys would arrange it.
Yes, he would.
Like they would say, all right, right toward the end of the second period, we're gonna fight and
then we're gonna have at it. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll meet you there. Yeah, you got to watch that episode, man. I think it's episode 2.
It was fascinating.
It was really good. We got a lot of insights on what happens on the ice, know, because from our perspective, when we're watching that, I can start seeing when guys are jawing at each other.
Yeah,
and you kind of feel it coming, and they're the poking and the prodding, which there's a lot of extra pushing and shoving and extra. I mean, I think between each little pause, but it was impressive to see. And then, but when you really see them jawing at each other, that's when all of a sudden you know it's coming.
You can see it coming.
Yeah. Well, like the other night, opening night, when the fight broke out, I called it because I'd seen them going at it a little bit, before then. Mm-hmm. And because of RJ and his insight, I was like, oh, you can start seeing it.
Watch
now.
this.
Yeah.
So you kind of stay away from that stuff. That's not really your bag.
Like, I mean, you're
not afraid of it.
I'll poke around and like, I'll stir something up.
Nice.
It's like,
how do you grab and like?
Yeah, you do like little things.
Little face wash.
Flick some guy's visor or piss him off. Like,
really?
You'll find a way.
Nice. Talk about his mom.
No
No.
mom.
I'm not much of a guy that chirps.
No. Who's?
No.
Wait. Let's go in order because we have a bazillion questions about the actual team. We want to get you there first.
Okay.
There you go.
So you're at Kraken training camp. You're doing your thing. At some point, you get word you're heading to Coachella Valley.
Yeah.
What was that situation? How did that come about?
So yeah, you get a little meeting with the GM. They give you some stuff to work on. Then you head down. We didn't head
expect
down.
it, or did you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he knew. And then like we had to stay there in Seattle, wait for the rink to be built the first year. So lived in a hotel for a while.
So they say, all right, you're heading to Coachella. You had to, I guess, then have known all of your future teammates because you guys were all in camp together, right?
Yeah. So we were all there.
Because this is a unique situation. It's not like you're coming into an organization that's already established. You were part of the original crew. So what was that like, meeting all of the original players for the first time? Yeah,
it was pretty cool. Especially like that was a different situation where like we pretty much had everyone there. Like guys on NHL contracts, guys on AHL contracts. They were all in one spot, so we got to meet everyone at the same time.
But you knew him from camp already, right?
Yeah, so like we were all in Seattle waiting. Like we couldn't come to Coachella yet, so we were all in Seattle waiting. And so like we got to almost build that chemistry quicker. We were living in the hotel
who
together.
was the first one you connected with?
Obviously the young guys like Cartier and Hedman.
Okay.
Those guys, and then mostly the older guys like Jimmy and all those guys.
Yeah.
It's funny that Jimmy's older guy he's still a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
It's perspective.
Yeah.
Well, and we've talked on the show about that, the chemistry, because, and we'll get into it again, and it's hard for me not to fast forward, but, you know, from how you guys gelled on the ice, what we saw when you finally got here, but we were told it's because Kyle talked about it on one of the, because you guys were in a unique experience, having to live in the hotel rooms together, kind of go through the same unique experience together. That's what really brought you guys together by the time you showed up in Coachella.
I think that was for sure one of the biggest factors. We also had a great group of guys. Like they were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Especially being a young guy coming in, like you're nervous, and like they just made you so comfortable and just allow you to go play your game.
That's
so
awesome.
when you first got together, right? You're up in Seattle. You're waiting for the rink to be built. You're meeting all your new players. Who were the leaders? You know, who were the veterans of a team that didn't exist yet?
Yeah, there was lots of guys. We had Max. Max was one. Gustav. Pawarowski. He happened to win 2 Calder Cups at the time.
Yeah.
We were an older team, so there was only five of us that were rookies. So like we had a lot of guys we could look up to.
Wow, I didn't realize it was.
Yeah.
In my mind, they took you under their wing and guided you and mentored you. But what really happened?
Yeah, no, they it was they kind of taught you pro hockey. It was honestly it was a cool experience because I've won the TELUS Cup. It's a midget tournament, or it's not a midget tournament, but it's your midget league, and it's all of Canada. And so like we were at Wilcox, Notre Dame, just a small town, and it was a boarding school. So like we all lived together, and like we were so close. It was a great group, but like this was up there with them. Like
Okay.
I mean we were so close, and just like what everyone brought was different, so it was kind of cool.
Did the rookies? Who were the rookies? You, Ty,
Me, yeah, Karts, Pedro, Villy. That was it.
and did you guys get hazed? Was there like?
You have to carry bags.
Yeah. Well, what's the ritual for rookies?
Yeah, there's a standard, like you pick up pucks after practice. You clean the bus.
Clean the bus, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How?
Like clean? What is clean?
What does
what does clean the bus mean?
Is it like sunflower seeds everywhere?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
Like just pick up garbage like after the road trip when you come back.
So
it's like
you're helping out the bus driver.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's clean up the bus, boys.
Yeah. We had it good though, like really good. We didn't have to do too much.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you get your chemistry down, you get your system down, you get some game time, get some experience, and then you hop a jet to Palm Springs. Was that your first time here?
It was, yeah.
What was that like?
We showed up. It was nighttime. And it was pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
What
I didn't realize there's no street lamps here.
Around December.
Well, no, was it December when you first got here?
It was like November.
Okay, so it was nice and cool. You had a little jacket on.
Yeah, we're driving.
Little did you know?
Driving on the street, can't see anything because there's no street lamps.
Yeah, there's no street lights. It's weird, right?
I'm like, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah.
It's just pitch black.
And so, what were you just like? What, I hate to ask, what did it feel like? That's a stupid question. But what was that like?
Yeah, we were actually just talking about this because we were talking with the new guys, and we're like, yeah, I felt like we were just like in an alternate universe when we first showed up because you have no idea where you are and you don't know your surroundings because it's pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this is home. You're like, well, this is home.
And it's
somewhere.
and it's only 8:00.
Yes.
So we're like, why is it pitch
That's
black
weird.
and it's 8:00?
That's totally weird, yeah. And
Yeah.
then you got mountains literally all the way around you, so it's hard to figure out the northwest.
Exactly.
Yeah, like your directions are shot.
It was a
You're
crazy
literally in
experience.
this bubble.
And
Yeah.
they drop you at the courtyard and say, here you are. We'll see you in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, well, we happened to we had our place. It was all lined up, so we showed up and we drove right there. But like, I didn't know what to expect because we weren't able to look at places.
Sure.
It was a different experience.
And so the next day you get up, it's bright and shiny. you jump in your car, I assume.
Yeah.
Head to Acrisure for the first time.
Well, I had to go out and kind of like take a look at everything because I'm like, there's a pool here. And like, it's sunny here. It's not raining in Seattle.
Yeah.
So we had to do that first.
Good.
Just take it all in.
Yeah.
And you knew about the golf.
Yeah.
You guys knew about that. And and we've seen the show, so obviously we'll get into that a little bit, down the road. But I mean, it sounds like that's the sport that all you guys gravitate towards.
Yeah, that's the majority of it.
This is the golf mecca.
Yeah.
There's over 128 courses.
It's actually crazy.
You golf, right?
I golf here and there. I'm not like the biggest golfer on our team by any means.
Yeah, my daughter's the cart girl at Classic. She says she's only seen you once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A team event.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So I've asked, I think, everybody the same question so far. So I'll ask you. The first time you set foot, because you've been into countless other arenas, you've played. Mm-hmm. This is not a new environment per se, but the first time you walked into Acrisure, this brand new arena built for you, what was that like?
It was pretty crazy. Like, just how high end the facility is. Like, obviously there was lots of money put into it, and it shows for sure. Like, there's not many NHL teams that have what we have. Like the Calgary Flames facility, obviously it's older, but like we have it pretty good here. And like the Dallas Stars were just here for a little bit, and they couldn't really believe how like well we had it here.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, the feeling and thought, and everybody says this, but we're an AHL team, but really the margin between NHL and where we're at, I mean, it's very minute with facility, the play, the coaching, like the fan base. So, I mean, but everybody says the facilities are bar none the best in the league.
Oh yeah, by far.
That's
best
awesome.
In the league.
That's great. It's nice to hang your hat on. I bet a lot of the other guys who are playing in other places are like, because I know that was talked about at the spotlight, what are the other players around the league saying about the facility? I think it was one of the questions asked.
Yeah, honestly, like guys joke around. They'll be like, "Oh, how is it there?" And you'll be like, it's not that good."
It's horrible.
Just so that no one else
shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, no, it's not that good.
Yeah, it's hot. It's just really hot, and you don't want to be here.
And I have at Marion Studenich when we played Texas last year. He probably said, "Oh, I'm coming."
Yeah.
I'm coming here next year.
Yeah,
that's pretty
sure
cool.
enough, he did.
Yeah. So what was his take on that when he got here as well? I mean, he must have been pretty like, the hype is real.
Yeah, I didn't really got to talk to him much about that. He obviously experienced it last year.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was pretty sweet. But now the fans are on his side. They're
100%.
not cheering against him. So
He's
here now. He's one of us
Yeah.
now.
All right, so it's opening night. It's December 18th, and you guys are geared up. There's a lot of energy in the building. We've been waiting.
Mm-hmm.
We've been watching from afar. You've been playing from afar. You haven't had a real fan base, and now it's opening night.
Yeah.
We're there. You're there. What was that like?
It was crazy. We honestly didn't know what to expect because you guys haven't had hockey here before.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that you were wanting something here.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been the want for that, but we didn't really know what to expect on the turnout wise. And you guys kind of blew that out of the water.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. I remember we stepped on the ice and we got chills because, I mean, there's so many fans there screaming. It was nuts. It's pretty awesome.
We got chills. I'm getting chills right now. Because I remember.
It was awesome.
Well, that was a big day for all of us. We talk about this a lot, but Dave and I didn't know each other until that night.
We never met.
Oh, really?
We had never met.
Wow.
He's literally on the end, so you know where we sit. I think you have an idea of where
right
we're
by
at.
the visitors bench there.
Yeah. Right behind where the BuzzBox logo is. And so, I met Dave. I literally am like, I'm looking for my seat. I'm like a newbie. I'm like trying to find my spot, in the classroom. And then Dave's on the end aisle, and we introduced ourselves, and we had to get to know each other much like you guys had to do when you were out there on the road, when you were in your hotel. So we're all kind of looking around, getting to know each other in the same way.
Or you guys do it like everyone's getting to know each other, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's
it's
kind of cool.
Our section, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but in our particular
we're
section,
biased. We talk about Section 106 all the time.
It's like we have become, I'm not going to say family because that's a bit corny, but kind of like
a
that.
little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
We now communicate away from the arena.
Yep.
We talk and text. And
we hang out a little bit.
For example, the preseason game this year, it was like, and it had only been like what 8 weeks or 10 weeks or something
like that.
And
The
it was like
off-season,
we welcome each other back from war.
It was like a family reunion.
Yeah, it
almost.
was crazy.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
That's been so I guess, and which is actually really interesting because I don't think you guys know that quite. You don't quite understand what's happening out there.
Yeah, like I mean, like we kind of know like how well everyone's coming together, like from different cities.
So so we'll give you a little bit, so you can take it back to the boys and let them know what you guys did and what the arena did. But everybody, what happened there was we created this bond. This really interesting. Well, we created friendship through
sure.
it. Yep. And then there was not just our section, but other sections where that happened, and you got to know a lot of different people because you're seeing each other and going through the same experience with what's happening on the ice, but also there's a lot of games being played.
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys got here so late and they tried to cram so much in there, and then of course the playoffs, and we went through hell and high water with you guys, but also we're together.
Yeah.
And we're supporting each other, and we're talking and texting, and we're not the only section that this happened in.
It's every seat in the arena,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when we came back for preseason and during the blackout, it was like nobody left.
Nobody left. Well, at least not for a while.
Yeah, it took a while because we were just hanging out.
Yeah.
Everybody's having,
In
a
the
couple
preseason?
cocktails. Yeah, the first
No
preseason
way.
game
In
on
the first
Friday night.
Oh, he didn't suit up. He
Oh,
wasn't
you
here
were in
for that.
Seattle.
I was in
Yeah,
Seattle.
Dude,
Yeah.
you missed it. So there was a
power went out.
blackout.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You didn't know about that?
No, I have no idea.
no one's told you?
Well, like I heard like the guys didn't play, but like
Dude, it was
just
complete
blacked out.
blackout. We thought the game was
So
starting.
at 6:00 on the dot, almost the lights go out. Everybody cheers. All right, we're
Here we
starting.
go, baby.
And then they didn't come back on, and
No
then the
way.
screen didn't come on, and then
The backup lights,
then
the
backup
generator
generator
hits.
kicks. We're oh, this is different.
This is not good.
And then for like 90 minutes, we waited for an hour and a half for the game to start. They finally called us that we're not playing. Our seats are right at the bottom, about third row up. By the time we got to the top of the steps of the concourse, everything came back on.
Yeah, right at the
no way.
Yeah.
So
So-
but I mean the concessions were handing out free food because they just couldn't keep it.
Yeah.
There was, but people didn't leave. Like
There
we were just hanging out like we were at a family reunion. It literally was.
No way.
Oh, we hadn't seen you in so long. What's been going on? Oh, hey, good to see you. And it's just we're hanging out. DJ's playing music.
That's pretty cool.
And then I remember I walked around the arena a couple times just to, kinda stretch my legs, but just say hi to people. And, yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That
to
is pretty
see.
cool.
That's what you guys did, right? And it's not just at the arena. And
No.
I get you guys probably don't know this because why would you? But at the airport, at the supermarket, I work. I spent a lot of time at the courthouse, in the courthouse.
Okay.
Everywhere. I wear a Firebirds pin on my suit. I've got every freaking T-shirt they ever made because I'm one of those guys. But it's a conversation starter.
Yep.
And it has brought people that would never have come together under any circumstances and brought us together. So
That's pretty sweet.
It's way bigger than just the game, and you guys did that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty huge. So with that in your mind now, going back, you're taking the ice for warm-ups for the very first time in the very first game, December 18th. You said it yourself. It was loud. You got chills. What was going through your mind, and what did you guys talk about in the locker room between warm-ups and the start of the game, if you remember?
Yeah, well, I mean, going out for warm-ups, it was crazy. The building was pretty much full already. And, like, you don't see that. That's very rare in hockey. Like, obviously, like, there's some fans that are around the glass, but, like, there's never the whole stadium's filled already. Yeah. So that was pretty cool when we came out and saw that. But, I mean, we were just kind of in the locker room chatting about, like, what to expect. We were like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, then we came out and everyone's so loud. It was crazy.
Was there a point I'm sure there was, but at what point did you guys realize, oh man, we might have something here?
I don't know. I think it might have been January or February, and like just how consistent everyone was. Like, there wasn't any drop off in fans or anything. Like, it was like pretty consistently sold out the whole time. And we're like, oh damn, like I think we have something here.
And how did that affect your guys' play, or How, if at all, did it affect you guys?
Well, I mean, like when we see the rink filled every time, like that, like just adds a bit more. Like we're like, oh damn, these guys support us. Like we're gonna go and show out for these guys. So I mean, we get excited when we see all the fans there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the noise, does that help?
Yeah, 100%.
That was probably one of the best compliments I heard. Was like, when after a goal is scored, the way the arena erupts.
Yeah.
It makes you want to do it more.
It's anything. I forget one of the players being interviewed on the news. I forget who it was. Talked about it could have been an icing, could have been anything.
Oh yeah,
the
we
whole
just
place just goes nuts.
It was pretty cool because I mean the first game, like everyone's just kind of getting used to, like the fans, and like there was the goal song. So like, you know how you guys say like the Firebirds after we score.
Yeah, let's go
Firebirds.
So like no one really knew about that.
Yeah.
Because Seattle does that when they score. Let's go Kraken.
Yeah, but
and so like I knew like, oh, this is what they're trying to do, but everyone caught on pretty quick.
oh yeah,
as to what to say.
And we'll do it
Throughout the game,
without Fuego's help. Like
Okay.
he likes to go out and bang on the drum
Yeah.
and do the thing. We just it'll just happen.
Yeah.
And then we support it. So like, you know, the Seahawks, they have, you know, there's a chant that they do, and you can do it anywhere. And I've done it. I've done it at a Golden Corral. My kids. Do you know what that is? It's a buffet. It's a buffet.
Don't ever go there.
It's a buffet. Yeah. So it was a place that we went after the game. But anyway, you could literally go into any restaurant, any store, and if there's Seahawk fans there, and it was after a game, and I saw some jerseys, and my kids were like, "Dad, don't do it," and I'm like, "I'm going to do it."
You know he did it too.
And you go, all you have to do is say "See," and then you're going to hear Hawks, and then it's, "See." Hawks. So one guy will chant it, and then everybody else will just chime in. It's just part of the culture. And so again, I get really, because the arena caught on in that exact same way. We don't need Fuego to get us going. It happens.
It's
like
definitely organic.
It's just very organic. I think you could probably do that in the streets anywhere, and people will pick up on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So in the middle of a game, like during the game, everybody's chirping and yapping and doing the thing. Can you hear the crowd on the? For example, if you're coming down and you're close by, we're going to yell your name, right? And whoever, it could be anybody. Can you hear that?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, like
but
I mean,
still do it, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to stop.
You're so focused.
Sure.
You kind of just block out everything. I mean, maybe some guys, but like for myself, I can't hear anything.
And even if you probably hear it and don't even know you're hearing it.
Exactly,
Not even acknowledging it. Now, going back to where Kyle started about, I don't know, however long ago it was, you said there's some chirping going on between guys. We can't hear that.
No.
But we can see it.
Yep.
What kind of stuff gets said out
And
there?
I want to know who the biggest chirper
who's
is.
the chirper?
Who's the talker?
Yeah.
I think you guys could probably guess. He's always in the mix for getting in there.
Like Ian?
Well, Ian's there, but usually 16.
Cole?
Cole's always in there.
I kind of thought so. Yeah, it's going to be my next guess.
He's always in there.
Yeah, because I watch him a lot, and I did. I like his style of play.
Yeah.
I really enjoy watching because he seems like the kind of guy that he's smiling. But
he's an irritator.
Right.
Like an agitator.
what kind of
sorry.
stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. He's an agitator.
Yeah. I mean, he's always in their face. He's pissing someone off.
He's
on the
talking
ice.
a lot.
That's my favorite part of him, is just like how he pisses everyone off.
And does that work?
I
Does
agree.
it throw him off? Does
I agree.
it distract him? Does it throw him off?
A couple of teams' top players, he can get under their skin pretty good.
Does he get under your
sure.
skin during practice? Does he does that to the other boys?
No, see, like he can get under a lot of guys' skin for sure in practice. He doesn't get under my skin by any means.
But guys on the team,
But guys on
during
the team,
practice and stuff like.
He'll get in there.
Does he?
Yeah.
Just because, like,
I think it gets him going too. I think it's part of his game, right? It's part of like,
and he just likes doing it.
He likes doing it.
He just likes doing it.
Yeah, and he's got a smile every time he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
he's
it.
having fun.
I know, I love that about him. I think that's one of the reasons. When I was watching him last year and this year, I thought, man, that guy, he's got something where I could see him just pissing people off and just
Yeah.
But then he backs it up.
He does. Yeah, that's the best part.
That is the best part. Yeah. You got to be able to back it up.
So
Always.
you can't really hear what we're saying. We can't hear what you're saying, but we can get the gist of it, especially when the gloves come off.
Mm-hmm.
But especially during warm-ups, right? You come out and there's signs all over the arena. Can you see? Do you guys acknowledge? Like, see them? I know there's one particular on the other side. There's a little Ryker, a little kid who's just all about you. I'm sure you're familiar with that dude, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys acknowledge, appreciate, like what how do you react to those things, the signs?
Yeah, we love the signs. Like, obviously, different guys do different things throughout warm-ups, but like I'm always looking at the crowd and seeing what kind of signs people have.
That's cool.
What's the best sign you've seen out there?
Outside of ours.
You won't know what ours are.
You might.
I've seen there was one last year, might have been playoffs. It was about Eddie. You're my wife's hall pass.
That's him, and
that was unbelievable.
that's her.
Was that your guy?
That's him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the best sign I've ever seen. It
at
was
that.
so
I love
funny.
the show. I love the
It was
show,
so
man.
funny.
Dave, I told you, man, you had impact. I love
Yeah,
it.
that was good.
That was unbelievable.
She's in the room, so you know she's turning red right now.
Red right now.
100%.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, we thought that was pretty strong.
That was good.
Oh, I love that. All right.
That was great.
Oh, God. What did
I heard that was talked about
What
a
did
bit.
he say after that?
Well, I
He
remember
was nice enough to come bring her a puck. And I
Yeah.
thought, that's all he's giving her.
I saw it on the Jumbotron and I almost started laughing. And then we're in the dressing room and we're pissing ourselves because it was just such an odd sign. Like, we didn't expect anyone to put a sign like that, but like it was unbelievable.
So there was a
that's
lot
so
of
fun.
there's a lot of creative signs out there, I
Lot of
think,
creative
and it
stuff.
got better as the year gone on. I think that was
Yeah.
that was the fun part.
Yeah.
Who and if I don't want to put you on the spot, but it was your first year, right? You're getting in there, you're doing the thing, you're on a ridiculously good team. Who on the Firebirds inspired you or motivated you the best or the most?
There were so many guys. I mean, it was just little things that everyone did that just allowed you to be more comfortable. Obviously, those older guys helped you out after practice, working on little things like that. Maybe that you didn't really know were something you need to focus on that helped you in the game. So it was pretty cool.
No one individual stands out.
Honestly, not. There's not one guy. Like,
That's
the best
even
part
better.
was like it was
Yeah.
everybody.
That's an even better answer.
Can I ask the questions around? So Joey, obviously he was obviously a fan favorite, and the Joey chants became pretty. How insane was that? Like, I know I got to meet his parents one time, and they were just floored by his reception and how the fans had taken to him. But I mean, really, I guess you're in the locker room, and when you're hearing that kind of stuff and that kind of support, and it's not just for one player; it's for all you guys too. But I mean, he got a lot of love.
You guys love Joey.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. You don't really see that too often in hockey, and I thought it was pretty crazy how much you guys kind of rallied around our goalie.
Did that tell you kind of a sense of what fan base you had at that point?
That too, and like it's kind of Joey's personality too. Like, whenever he's going out for the 3 stars, like, he's doing something crazy.
Yeah.
And so everyone just kind of got around him.
Yeah, I think that was such a unique experience overall. And what was cool to watch and to learn, because we were all kind of figuring it out with you guys, like, who are these guys? I remember the first meet and greet at the 29, and it was really awkward. It was like, it was awesome, but it was like, hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hope you have a good year.
Hey, whoever you are.
Whoever you are, that was interesting. But then as the season went on and we got to know your personalities a little bit, and we realized who was who, and then it all kind of just kind of came out in the wash. I think that at the end of the day became, I think, the most interesting part was we felt like a deeper connection as we rode the wave with you guys.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel that, or like
we did for sure?
From our
Yeah.
end. What was it like on your end?
Yeah, you're talking about that. We were at the casino. That was the first thing. I mean, there was like not that many people. Like, it was just like a little meet and greet, and then like this year was crazy.
It was bananas.
It was nuts.
We couldn't even get to everybody.
Yeah, and I think it was better this year because like the fans knew the players.
Yeah.
So they were more excited, and like you said, like it was a little awkward the first year just because no one really knew anything, didn't know what to expect. But
it was neat to see you guys again, and I love some of the reactions, by the way, when I was walking through. It was just probably the best.
Yeah.
I always loved it. But because it was like you guys are heads down, and then you look up, and you're like, oh, hey, that kind of thing. And that was really neat because there was this relationship over the time, and then, it was cool to see you guys again. and to like welcome you back.
Yeah.
The thing that killed me was that we didn't get to have that closure when it was over.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was kind of not the letdown, but in a way, because we wanted to find a way to appreciate you guys and just, you know, say thank you for everything that you guys did, how hard you played, the hard.
We talked about you for a long time. Like,
yeah, it was
a thing.
Not just you personally, but I mean, as a whole.
Yeah.
The team, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was one of those, man, it would have been nice to have one more meet and greet to say thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
or a barbecue or something. Anything just to say thanks, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think that's where. So this new go around, the new meet and greet this time around,
It was awesome.
Extra special.
It was pretty cool too, because like there's little kids there, and like they have your jersey on, so like it was pretty cool to see that.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
You're that guy, dude.
It's pretty sweet.
You're that guy.
So let's go back to when you were, you know, you're getting the call for the draft. You woke up, your hair's all messy. You find out you're picked. Did you at any point in your mind imagine little kids wearing number 41 with your name on their back, proudly walking around?
I not really. Like, I mean, this was kind of like the first year I got to see it. Like, not even like this year. Like, literally, like this first meet and greet was the first time I got to see like 3 or 4 kids walking around with like my jersey on, which was pretty sweet.
You're like, oh, that's a coincidence. That's my name. That's weird. How'd that happen?
Well, you've kind of become a fan favorite. And
really?
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay,
not
well,
really.
I think, and we're going to talk on this in a second here, but your guys' show on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we can talk about that a little bit.
About that?
You like my lead-in?
Yeah.
You know I was doing that,
go
bro.
right in there.
Come
Go.
on now.
First question,
but-
where does Garth come from?
But we're going to, what's his middle name?
That's my middle name.
Okay, fair enough.
You didn't, internet failed you.
Internet failed me.
Okay.
Damn Google.
But what I'm saying is, you know, I think, you know, whether you guys know it or not, but everybody has their favorites. But I think you became a pretty big fan favorite. I mean, when you were introduced, you know, there's a roar.
Yeah.
There's, you know, and then you're at, like you said,
cool.
you're at the 29. You got kids wearing your jersey. The show, I think that really kind of helped. And you didn't even have to do a whole lot.
I know, yeah.
Let's
Just
talk
sit there
about
and
it.
look funny.
Yeah. So that was, whose idea was that?
That was Tenny's idea.
Really?
Yeah. It might have been like him and Piv might have came up with it, maybe him and Becky, but like it was mostly Tenny's idea, yeah.
How did you get wrapped up in it?
I honestly have no idea.
Wrong place,
Like-
the wrong time.
Right
like
place,
it
dude.
might have been like I was the youngest guy on the team at the time. So like, oh, we'll just throw this guy in the pool for 2.5 hours.
Whose idea was that? Like, we're just going to stick you in the back. You get to be like, basically, you're going to be mute. You're just going to have reactions and
We
play
got
in the
some
pool.
fins from the drugstore for you and
Right.
a snorkel for you.
Yeah, and here's some sunscreen whenever we tell you to apply, you apply.
Yeah, you know, you ever seen the Barstool interviews
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Yes.
Caleb Presley and those guys? I was like that was Tenny. Tenny was the Caleb Presley, and like
Got it.
I was the other guy.
It was great because, you know, that was fun. We got to see more personality after the season. We're like, okay, this is cool. And then I think you played that part perfectly because I think you're just, you know, no expression. We're just going to sit here and you're going to smile.
And like that, the funniest part is like I wasn't even like acting. Like I was
No,
just
you're just
me.
being you.
Yeah.
That was the most interesting part. But it played so well. And Tenny had this monotone, you know.
And like that's just Tenny too.
He
Like,
was
that's
perfect.
just how he
Yeah,
talked.
That's
He
why
was
it just
perfect.
worked. It's
Yeah.
it worked so well.
I thought it was so funny because like Tenny was like being sarcastic a lot.
I can
And
tell
like
a little bit. Yeah.
and like you don't really see that from him like in the dressing room. So like
Oh.
I was laughing quite a bit because he was being sarcastic.
Were the other players around to hear the questions?
Yeah, so like they were kind of sitting in the back on like a couch, walking or watching like maybe 1 or 2 guys at a time. Then another couple would walk in after practice. So like some guys were surprised by the questions, some guys weren't.
I noticed there's one of all the questions, there was one consistent answer.
Here we go.
Every single
Thank
buddy
you,
answered
Dave,
the same way.
for doing it.
And that is nobody will let Ian McKinnon date their sister. Come
Yeah,
on,
that
tell me
was
why.
that was a funny question.
It was great.
I don't know. I don't even know why everyone kept saying him.
I heard a
He's
couple responses.
He's a good guy.
Okay.
He likes to have fun.
I heard Shane was like the nicest guy, you know, so everybody kept saying, well, who would you date? You know, Shane Wright's name came up a few times. And
Yeah.
but yeah,
I think so. I think guys I think they were scheming before, and they're like, we're just gonna
throw him under the bus.
We're gonna throw him under the bus.
That's smart. So you guys, what I love is you guys are kind of like this brotherhood, this fraternity almost, where you get on each other and you rib each other pretty good.
Do you guys who's the biggest prankster?
It'd probably be Eddie. Actually, Eddie was pretty good. He tried. He had Henman going one time.
On what?
So Henny didn't have his contact in his phone at the start of the year, so he kept sending him. He said like, you subscribe to Cat Facts. So he sent him a cat fact every day for 30 days. And Henny had no idea. He's like, oh my God, like I'm getting charged for this on my credit card.
Nice. That's actually really good.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
It just created stuff like that, especially him being an older guy, so he knew what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
So now that he has moved on and Taney's moved on, who's the prankster now?
Honestly, I think it's up for grabs.
Okay. You should take it.
There's a couple of guys that, like Lindy likes to do some stuff.
I can see that.
Potts likes to do some stuff.
He seems like a schemer.
Oh yeah, he is.
You know what I mean? Like there's something going on behind those eyes, man.
He's always scheming.
I feel like that's real.
He looks like he's got stuff going on back there.
And our goal, like we talked about this before you got here, but we want him in the chair.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so much going on behind the scenes and like I just need to know what's happening.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good to maybe we can draw some of that out. So that's interesting. Okay, can I get back to hockey? Sorry.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
A little bit. Well, we're all over the place. Because I love the show. The show was great. I wish there was more episodes and you guys would have been able to bring on almost everybody because it really showed personalities. It was really cool. It was so cool.
I loved how some guys were like, they don't like the sarcasm. So like guys like Hughes were like super uncomfortable.
Yeah, you could see.
So it was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny that actually it did bring out lots of personality.
It was really good. It was fun to watch. I looked forward to when there was a new episode, and that was the best part. I think so going back to hockey, you had one of the biggest goals of your career.
Yeah, to date probably, yeah.
And what was that?
Probably that triple overtime one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we lead into that because that comes up a lot on this show, and we ask everybody, that was talked about the 29th, but for me, overall we were there until midnight. We were there to the very end.
I know, that's crazy.
It was awesome.
We're not going anywhere.
So we were in it to win it with you guys. Let's just talk about it. Start from, that series was tough regardless. Mm-hmm. We knew that going into it. What was that game, that night like, and then making that goal? Like,
yeah, that was a pretty crazy series. They gave us a good run throughout the whole year. They were a great team. That night was pretty crazy. Just 3 overtimes. Like, it's already hot enough in the desert, plus in the rink. So like we're leaking the whole time. Like we've got food, we've got fruit in the dressing room, we've got pizza, we've got peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Like we got everything.
You're eating pizza between games?
We're starving.
Serious?
Yeah. So we're eating food, like just trying to stay fueled.
Yeah.
Find some energy because you
basically played 2 full games.
Yeah. Exhausting.
Like the first overtime was good. Like there was some pace to it. And then you got to the second and third overtime, and it was like we were summer hockey. Like, guys couldn't bend their knees, like cramping up.
I believe it.
I remember Raph on the bench. He looked over, and like he had to miss 2 shifts because his quads were cramping.
No kidding.
So like
we didn't even. I don't think we noticed. You guys just kicked ass the whole time.
Yeah, like it was crazy. I've never obviously experienced anything like that.
And it was getting super late.
Yeah, and we couldn't believe how many people were still there. Like, we'd come out for the second overtime. We're like, oh, there's still a decent amount of people still here kicking around.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. And then, obviously, to score the goal.
How was that?
That was more of a relief for everyone.
It was for us, too.
We're like,
yeah.
We're all like, oh, thank God. Like,
I'm
joking around with the ref, like, hey, could you just, like, let it go, like, go in, like, just like, give a guy a penalty shot or something, like, so we can just end this one. But
did you keep the puck?
No, it's just another goal. It just meant a bit more.
Well, I appreciate the humbleness. Like I do.
Yeah.
I do. But that was not just another goal. You know,
Yeah, obviously, like it had a significant impact in the series.
it
But like,
really did. Here's what was special about that, because leading up into that series, you know, we knew that there was fight. We saw you guys battle, you know, series after series. You guys had a lot of close games during the regular season. We went overtime. Like, we saw the character of the team. It was a bend but don't break mentality, and we love that. I think that series overall was the big test, but I think that goal is what shifted everything.
Yeah, I was actually talking with one of the Wranglers guys this summer, and he was talking about how much that actually killed them, because like we just play pretty much 2 games, and then you have a goal go in like that, and then
Against Dustin Wolf, by the way, like one of the, he's
he's not a slouch.
He's a freaking good guy.
So,
good
I mean,
goalie.
just think about what happens if it doesn't go in and they score.
yeah,
I think it changes everything.
it does. Yeah.
So don't downplay that, man. I know to you, I mean, but I'm going to tell you right now from what I've seen, you know, and in sports in general, there's certain plays that shift series, that change culture.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And when that happened, I think for everybody in that building, then I think from that point on, we knew like the Calder Cup was within reach. Honestly, after that goal, I just wanted you to know, after that goal is when we were like, yes, we have a shot here. This is going to be it, because that was such a grind.
Yeah,
It was such a grind. So yeah, don't diminish, you know, what that goal did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the second biggest. I think Potts, obviously, he had, I think, probably the biggest goal. You know,
That was a good goal.
of the series, but. Yours, you know, I'd rank it right up there. There's a slim difference right there. I mean, but because I think if you don't do that, it's a different thing.
If you're enjoying this episode as much as we enjoyed doing it, please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to hit that subscribe button too. And remember, turn on alerts so you never miss an episode. And last but not least, take a moment to share the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast with your Firebirds family and friends and anybody who loves our birds as much as you do. As always, the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether you're buying or selling, Kyle Garman and his team at Keller Williams have you covered. Visit them at kylegarman.kw.com. And by desertdefenselawyers.com, DUI and criminal defense throughout the Coachella Valley. Attorney David Gibbett has been working hard to keep folks out of the penalty box since 2008. Now, let's get back to it.
It's a different thing.
So that's it's your first season playing pro, right?
Yeah.
You score 6 goals in 71 games, and then 5 in the playoffs. What fire got lit under you?
How did that happen?
Yeah, well, what fire got lit under you?
Honestly, it was just like I found my game. I was more confident doing different things. I always had that ability, just like, especially at the start of the year, like I didn't really have that confidence. So in playoffs, like it means a bit more. So I was able just to turn it on.
That's awesome.
And we've talked about this, and I've told everybody I know there's no competitive element more exciting than playoff hockey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like in any sport.
It was my first time experiencing it, and you were
guys
right.
Definitely.
Crazy.
I want to go back if we can, because one of the reasons for doing this podcast is to kind of pull the curtain back so that fans can get a real sense of you know what it's really like.
Yeah.
So it's regular season. What's a day or a week like for you guys?
Obviously this week was weird. Like we only played 1 game, but usually there's 3. We usually get a day off after a game. All depends, and then we're just practicing the rest of the time.
What's that like? Is it in my mind? I imagine you're there for 1,100 hours a day. Like what's a practice day like?
So we usually have breakfast starts at 8. You get in there. Might have a meeting at 9. Then we're on the ice usually at 10 usually. Do your stuff for an hour, and then you usually hit the gym before or after, and then you're done.
And you obviously break up into your specialties, right? Defense is going with defense, forwards is going with forwards. There's a goalie coach, right? You guys are all doing your thing, or what's
So
that
yeah,
like?
usually we're all together.
Okay.
Some days we might have like a skill day where forwards will do their
So you
thing.
guys
D will do
practice
their
all
thing.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
Not like football where you've got a coach for every single
Yeah.
discipline.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're lucky to not have 500 guys on a team.
Right, no, exactly. So it's 8 o'clock. You're in. You eat your breakfast, and what time's practice over?
Usually 11:30.
And then what?
Then,
What's the rest of your day?
Sometimes a nap. Or a nap in there.
Probably. I would think so.
Yeah.
Naps are
Sure.
always good. Nothing really. It's kind of relaxing.
Okay.
Nice.
Enjoy. You obviously you said you woke up the next day at your place. You got a pool. You're
Maybe
hanging out
figure out
nothing.
what's for dinner. Who
Okay.
knows?
good enough. We're gonna ask about that in a little bit.
Okay.
So I was wondering this, and I have no idea why. It doesn't really matter, but I imagine that when you've got a game like in San Diego or Ontario, you guys hop a bus and you go to the game.
Yeah.
But what about like Tucson or Bakersfield, or do you guys have do you guys charter a jet, or are you on a bus for 7 or 8 or 9 hours?
Yeah, I think was Tucson like 4.5, 5?
Tucson's like 8 from here. It's like,
Is it?
yeah. I've never driven it, but Phoenix is like 3.5, and
Yeah.
Tucson's what, another 2 hours and a half.
It might be like
Yeah.
5, maybe 5. And so like we drive up the day before and
Okay.
stay,
Yeah.
Okay.
and we drive back
8
after.
seems a lot to me.
In the bus.
Yeah, on
in
the
the
bus. For games that are like in San Jose, we'll fly. When we went to Texas last year, we flew.
Right
To
on.
Colorado, we fly. But like just those close ones, like Henderson, Bakersfield, we all drive.
What's it like on the bus? Like, what do you guys?
A lot of guys are playing cards.
I know. I imagine Slapshot, right, where they're playing cards and looking at
Yeah.
magazines and but like, what's
Yeah, a lot of guys are playing cards. Most times, some guys coming out with a lot of money lost.
Ooh.
playing cards.
What game are you playing? And
I don't play, but I know like there's obviously guys like Potts, Lindy, Driegs is always playing.
Are they playing like poker?
I think so. Poker. Yeah, I think poker is where they do a lot of their.
I might have to get in on that.
My imagination is going wild
Just saying.
right now. I could see Pork Chop. So just quick little bit of context. Podorowski could not print. My wife and I could not pronounce his name back in December when you guys first started.
Yeah.
That
so we
was,
just
yeah.
started calling him Pork Chop. 'Cause that's what my eyes saw when I saw the back
Yeah.
of his jersey. So I just imagine him with like that green dealer's
Little
see-through
visor.
visor
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and a little toothpick or something in his mouth, just dealing cards.
So who's talking the most crap during that?
I want to say the best. The guy who lost the most money was probably Carson. But I mean, there's lots of guys talking. Like Hughesy's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
You mostly just hear about the guys that lose, never really about the guys that win.
Right. That would be
that's
fun.
funny.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. That'd be a good time.
So when you get where you're going, and these are just like silly fan questions, but like when you get where you're going to Vegas or Tucson or wherever you are, going out the day before, do you get a hotel? Do you guys have to share rooms, or each get your own room, or
Yeah, we have roommates.
who's yours?
Mine was Hughesy last year. So it was he was a good roommate. And then like
Would he say the same about you?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope
because
so.
we're gonna ask him at some point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him if you're a good
gonna come
roommate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so. I hope he says yeah.
Okay.
Well, you seem like a kind of a reserved, clean-cut kid who just kind of does his thing.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't get in too many people's way.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
My assessment's pretty
Yeah.
spot on. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I have. Yeah, for what I do for a living, it helps to do that.
Good plug, good plug.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Yeah. So okay. I don't know where I was going. with that.
I was just gonna follow up with. So when you're flying places, go back to the bus. Do you guys assign seats? Does everybody sit in the same thing? Is there like a hierarchy of who sits where on the bus?
Yeah, there's not really assigned seats, but like every guy goes to like their seat that like maybe they'll first go to.
Oh, where's yours?
Like middle of the bus kind of area.
Window or aisle?
Usually aisle. Yeah, maybe I might go right side this year. Who knows? I was last
mix
year.
it up. Okay.
Yeah,
So do you
mix
have
it up.
do you have a routine, rituals, things that you do throughout the season that you know, because we kind of have our own little
Yeah.
rituals and
Hockey's a very
Superstitious,
sport.
yeah.
What's yours? What are your superstitions?
Nothing. I had nothing crazy. I just gotta have your routines. Usually it's like a steak the night before a game.
Are you?
Okay.
How do you like your steak?
Sometimes medium rare. A good ribeye.
Not a baby.
We sometimes on the road we split some tomahawks.
Oh, let's
So-
talk
Right
about
on.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way to go.
But no,
Eating
yeah,
right out there.
yes,
Good.
steaks a go-to.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard, and also because of the show, you're very ritualistic, and you're very, and I think your mom has even mentioned it too, where your diet is very, very key to part of your regiment.
Yeah, it's just tough because I'm celiac, so you gotta have your eating down pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
Especially on the road, it's tough going out and eating places.
What do you have to avoid?
It's usually just wheat, malt, barley, rye.
So no beer for you.
So some people say just like anything good I can't have.
That's about right.
That's about it.
Apple cider beer actually doesn't have any
Don't.
wheat. It
Don't-
doesn't.
what are you
I'm just
throwing
throwing that
here?
out there. I don't know. What's my wife? My
Give
wife,
this
she
kid a
can't.
tummy
She's gluten free, so I had to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just trying to give him tips.
Dude, he just water.
Yeah.
Okay,
to
water's
water.
fine.
With some vodka in it. And you're good. All right, so last thing about the travel thing, and we're kind of all over the place, but I don't care.
Don't worry, I'll bring
yeah,
it.
I appreciate you.
I got you.
It was Milwaukee.
Yeah, it was Milwaukee.
It was Milwaukee. You're coming back from Milwaukee. Did you have any idea that so many fans would be waiting for
That
you
we
at
were
the
going to
airport?
be there.
That was pretty crazy.
Did you know going in?
We had no idea. I think one of the girlfriends on the team said that there was like a Facebook group that was talking about it.
A little bit.
There's a group.
So we kind of had an idea, but then when we walked on the tarmac there, we could hear screaming.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, we didn't realize there was going to be that many people, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, seeing your guys' faces were the best.
Yeah.
Because you guys were just like, whoa, and you're smiling
Yeah,
so big.
especially like when we just like won a big game there.
Yeah.
So it was pretty sweet.
When you walked out that terminal door, right, and you could see to the left to the exit to the parking lot, what were you thinking? Holy shit! Look at those people. Like, what were you thinking? What was going through you?
I was pretty tired. We were all pretty gassed.
Yeah, I bet.
It was exciting to see everyone there supporting us.
That gave you kind of a little extra juice.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do any other fans do that for their players?
Not that I've heard of, no, especially in the AHL.
Yeah.
Good job. To the fans out there, good job.
Nice job. Nice job. Nice job.
Good job.
All right. Take us in a different direction.
I just wanted to kind of get your feel, I guess, so we'll kind of get ready to land the plane a little bit, but I mean, let's talk about Game 7. Like, this is where it gets heavy in the show.
And here's a little just caveat is that we are heading in. We've only just begun season 2, and pretty soon we got to stop talking about the first season. But while
And we will.
still fresh, we got to talk about it.
Considering, again, you're the first player that sat in this chair and is giving that kind of perspective, because we have our takes, we have our takeaways. So, I mean, I know how bad you guys wanted it, and I know how bad we wanted it, but I mean, what was that overtime like? And, what were the thoughts, feelings? I mean, just, I guess you can generalize, get specific, but I mean, that whole game, what was that like? And then, of course, the end result. What was that experience like?
It was pretty. I mean, the whole playoff experience was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Not many people get to experience all the way to Game 7. Like, you play every game except for one, which was nuts. You had guys like Ty that played 100 games that year, so that's pretty crazy. And just like how healthy our whole team was. Like, usually guys are getting injured and they're out, but like we only had one guy, and so it was pretty sweet to experience. I mean, just like the Game 7, it was exciting. Like, the fans were crazy.
Oh, it was nuts that night.
Yeah, it was a back and forth game. Obviously, it didn't come up like how we wanted it, and then we had to go into overtime again. We played a lot of overtimes.
Yeah.
So, obviously we didn't get what we wanted. It was a cool experience all around.
So the mood afterwards, we saw your faces. I think, and we felt bad too. And I'm not going to get. I want to get emotional because it was the ride that we shared with you guys. We had a different perspective, but we felt like we were with you during the whole season, whole playoffs. Because every time we go into that building, and okay, you guys have got to stop taking the series to the final games. Like,
Yeah, no
stop
kidding.
doing that, because
That was more final games than I've ever seen.
it was just
probably.
so emotional every night, getting ready, going to that arena, and not knowing if that was going to be the last night we were going to. And then we win, and it's we talked about it, but it's like we ain't done yet. That was kind of our motto throughout the playoffs when it came down to those final games, and then you guys would pull it out, and so that's why the Calder Cup Game 7 overtime, we expected like what you guys had done all season long. Okay, fine. We're going to overtime, and we're going to win this sucker. I think I even talked about it during an interview that game, and I even claimed it. I said, we're going to win it. This is what we do. This is what we do. So that heavy emotion, I mean, were you guys feeling it for us the same way we were feeling it for you?
Yeah, I mostly felt it for like the older guys, like guys like Tenny and like Eddie. Like sometimes like that's like their like last kick at the can type of thing. So I kind of felt it more for them.
And we immediately recognized that in this particular sport, having a goal scored on you doesn't necessarily make it the goalie's fault, right? I mean, pucks
It happens.
bounce and go all different directions.
Exactly.
And I don't think there was a single person in the arena or anywhere in Firebirds fandom that thought for 1 second that was Joey's fault.
No,
I certainly did.
Yeah.
What did he have to say? You don't have to share it if it's personal, but after the game in the locker room, because we saw you guys console him, but then the damnedest thing, he was then consoling you guys, and then all the rest of it happened.
Yeah.
But when it was all quiet and back in the locker room, and what did he have to say, or what happened there?
Honestly, there wasn't really too much said. It was mostly just like guys saying like hell of a year we had. We were just kind of rethinking the whole season. Everyone kind of came together good in the dressing room there for sure.
Okay,
That's awesome.
What was your biggest takeaway from the inaugural season?
Like just in general. I don't know. It's tough. I haven't really thought about that. Honestly, it's just like what you bring as like a team and a role that everyone has. Everyone's got to bring something, and that's kind of what made us so successful.
What do you bring? Or I know what you bring. What do you think you bring?
Yeah, it's more like guys know their roles on the ice, but like it's you off the ice and like what you bring, like your personality wise. So like we have a lot of guys that like to talk. I think just like messing around and keeping it loose is what I found worked best for all of us. So just kind of like going at each other like we're brothers is what I found worked best. And
when the season was over, you guys all kind of went off in your own different direction, which I guess is what happens. I mean, it's a job, right? It's just a job. Who did you keep in touch with?
A lot of guys actually. A lot of the older guys. We were talking on our group message there. Karts and Henny. I'm always talking with those guys. Those are probably the closest guys on the team that I'm with. So.
And Karts is, I mean, I'm sad as a fan that he's gone, but I don't want him back.
Exactly.
The next time I see him, I want him hoisting the cup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want him chasing. I want him achieving his dream. The same with Joey. I love those guys. I don't want them back. I want them there.
Yeah.
Where they belong, where they want to be. Obviously we dig you. If you got gone up there too, we wouldn't want you back either. We'd want you to hoist that cup too.
Yeah, it's crazy because
we wish it for all of you.
Yeah.
The not like everyone really understands like that this is like only like for a minor time because like everyone's trying to get to that next level. So like I don't think like the fans completely understand like
we're like foster parents.
We don't we don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
We have this like we know, but we don't want to buy into it. It's not one of the things like I don't know, like it's going to happen and you're happy when it does.
Yeah.
Like honestly, we weren't sure if you're coming back. I thought, oh, he'll be up there for sure. I mean, you had such a great year, and I think you had a good training camp, and I have a feeling you might get called again.
And just like it happened for Ty, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad we got to sit down now. Cause
exactly. We may not get this chance again, and that's a good thing.
You may be wearing seafoam green before you know it.
We love seafoam green. Yeah.
So that led me to so you've got a good look. Now you're now a veteran, I guess. Can we call you that? Or are you still
I'm still just a young guy.
what are you, like, a sophomore, whatever they call you?
Yeah, it's a young guy.
So you've got guys younger than you, guys newer than you coming in. Who are you looking at for? Well, I'm trying to ask
like
a question.
mentorship.
Yeah,
you know, is that
who up and coming do you have your eye on? Like who's the new player to watch?
Honestly, all our young guys are good. They all have so much skill, especially in junior where they were playing. They're all top end guys, putting up 100 points, leading their team in points. So, I mean, all of them are going to be really good, really good.
So okay, so let me. I was thinking about this before because you had mentioned the culture. You know, you guys set a standard, and I've talked about this quite a bit.
Yeah.
With what had happened and how we get there and how we play, and like I call it Firebirds, hockey. This is
we all call it that.
Well, this is how we get here. If you're going to come play for the organization, this is the standard now, because you guys set that standard.
Bar,
It's a high bar.
Yeah.
You screwed it for a lot of people.
I mean, so did they feel that coming into the building? Like, oh man, like there's an expectation here.
I think they got to experience that last year when they got called up in playoffs there. They got to see it all, and like the expectation was winning. I think we saw that the most at the casino night there, where everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do that again. Like you guys are gonna win again." Or like it's tough. Like
it's hard.
Like,
so you won't get that from us, right? Our expectation, we have no expectations for how the season is going to end. What our expectation is, and I shouldn't say expectation, what we know is going to happen is you're going to play your asses off for yourselves, for us, for the club, and whatever happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're not, I don't think we have.
Yeah, no, we're realistic around what we saw was in any sport historically special.
Yeah, especially the first season.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And so that for us, we can't have that expectation of that again. And nor should we. I think, each season's different, special. I think, again, though, I'm so grateful that you guys set a standard for anybody who comes to that building now. This is how you play.
Yeah.
And it's all out there. There's no dog in it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I think that's the most amazing thing that you guys were able to pull off.
And if there's something you could take back to the guys, I'll tell you this. Do you remember the movie Rocky? You see Rocky?
I've only seen like parts of it.
Okay, you got to watch Rocky.
There's lots of them.
You got to watch Rocky.
That's what I've heard.
And you're going to see that Rocky Balboa, a young scrapper from nowhere, takes it all away. He lost the championship bout.
Yeah, in the first Rocky.
In the first film. Yeah. Went all the way and he lost. You know what he did in the second one? He won, baby.
He won it.
So
yeah, that's right.
We
don't know.
If Rocky can do it, no hard feelings.
But I mean, that's the thing. I think that's the coolest part, and it's fun. I think that's why you saw opening night. When you guys hit the ice, how excited we were.
And every night thereafter, right?
Every night. Well, yeah. I'm talking about like just the other night, though. But I think anything moving forward.
Oh, yeah. This opening night.
Yeah, for season 2. I mean, now that we're in it, which feels weird. It's like, oh yeah, like we're in it, man. Which was great to see you guys come out on the red carpet and do your thing, and that's always neat. The fanfare.
Hey, Pork Chop, come up with that Paddington Bear hat thing.
What? Yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
Wait, did you go to the Pharrell Williams outlet to get that thing?
It's hard not to notice that.
Yeah.
Was it good or bad?
I'm not saying anything, but
I don't claim to be a fashionista, but I do know what fashion is to a certain degree. I would say he could maybe tone it down a little bit. With the hat, maybe he might go fedora style. Maybe.
I'm gonna say just own it, dude. If that hat, if that's your thing,
whatever works. I'm not one to judge.
But it did take my eyes by surprise.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's funny.
Like I could see little stuffed versions of them being sold at the airport.
We were just talking about that like the other day at practice. So that's funny that you bring that up.
We see everything, man. We do,
funny.
down to the plaid suit. I thought like that was I forgot who was rocking the plaid suit, but I'm like, okay.
Oh, like half of them were.
That was Kale.
Was it Kale?
Fleury, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, that's a statement.
He's got some cool hats, though.
Does
He'll
he?
probably bring out, yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we'll be
He's a
looking
quiet
for
one,
those.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more if you get to know him.
Okay.
He'll like to talk.
All right. Okay. We'll see.
So you said a while back that you didn't know what to expect for the first season. What do you expect for yourself and for the club going into season 2?
Yeah, we still hold ourselves to a high standard, I think. We want, obviously, more, especially more than last year. We want the championship. But, yeah, we're holding ourselves to a high standard just because, like, we set that last year. So we got to hold up to it.
For sure.
That's
All right.
fair. That's fair. I mean, yeah, the bar was set pretty high, so why not try? Let's go again.
Exactly,
Let's
yeah.
go again. Why not?
Yeah.
You got pretty much the same guys coming back. We got some young bucks who finally made their way up. But
They
I
got
think-
some new key pieces, too.
Yeah, right. I
Those
mean,
young
and
guys.
then I think the biggest thing, and I've talked about this before, and even at the 29 when I saw Dan, I was so, and Jessica and all those guys, I'm like, I'm so glad you guys are back. The fear was that they might get.
They did such a great job, they might get yanked.
Yeah,
somewhere,
so
but-
the fact the coaching staff came back, I think that really helped set the bar. And then now
Mhm.
moving forward, I think there could be an opportunity. My expectation is that we're looking for a deep run. I mean, that's my only expectation because
Yeah.
I know the quality. I know what you guys can do. So for me, I'm thinking at least a deep run. Like that's just it for me. And anything, whatever happens, because it is playoffs. We realize whatever happens in the playoffs is going to just happen.
Yeah.
And right now, where it's all just beginning.
Oh,
and
we're just getting
obviously,
started. Yeah.
opening night, we would have liked, the win. But I left there thinking, okay, these guys only had a couple practices together.
Yeah.
They don't really know each other yet. They played their asses off. They might have gotten outscored, but you didn't get outplayed.
Right.
So I walked out super optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That what we hope for is already happening.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys have that same sense?
Yeah, I thought from the last game there, it was a lot of just like bearing down on chances. They were all there. I felt like we outplayed them. Some mistakes, but I mean, it's the first game of the year. There's 71 more, so.
And
yeah.
everyone's coming after
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
Like you have the target on your back now, even more than Hershey.
Exactly,
probably.
yeah.
So it's you got no choice. I'm just checking the clock. I don't want to. We've been here for a minute. Before we get to rapid fire, because we got to do rapid fire.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Well, I think it goes back to the new guys. For those you get to now impart on some of these kids who are coming up doing their thing. I mean, who are you trying to help mentor a little bit?
Yeah, obviously we were going through the same things last year, so just helping out the young guys. Right now they're trying to find a place, so we want to help those guys out just because they don't really know what to expect. Last year it was like, oh shoot, I got to cook for myself for the first time, and I had no idea how to work a barbecue, so
Yeah.
I had Henman teaching me.
Wait, you're
so-
from Calgary and you can't work a barbecue?
Yeah, I just learned.
Oh my gosh.
So we're so we'll help those guys.
Little things like that.
Yeah.
Help kind of
For
show them the
sure.
way. How cool is that for you, though, to actually now be that guy? Because you talked about the older guys helping you, and now you get to pass the torch and do that.
I think it's pretty cool, and it's I'm only a year.
Yeah.
I'm only my second year.
But in
It's
hockey years, that's it's like dog years. That's a
Yeah,
long
considering
time.
what you've been through, too.
I know, yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy to think about that like that.
Mom and Dad, how are they feeling about all of last season, what you guys went through? I mean, obviously they're elated, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they're excited because they come down and watch some hockey, and then obviously we got to go to Calgary and play, so I got to play in front of the family.
How great is that?
That was very cool, because usually all my buddies are back from school then, so I had all my buddies there.
So it was a homecoming for you.
It was awesome, yeah.
Good for you. How's your sister doing? She plays hockey as well, right?
Yeah, she does. She's out at Boston Merrimack there.
I heard, and I think I saw something online where she scored this amazing goal, or there was something. I don't know. It sounds like
Yeah.
she's crushing it.
Yeah, she's doing really well.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's
It's good
awesome.
to see.
Yeah, I had an opportunity last season, and I met her, and I met your mom and the family. It was kind of at the airport. It was just this random chance.
At some
That's
point,
very
we
cool.
want to get your mom in that chair because we want to
Yeah.
childhood stories.
We've
about
had that
you. Yeah.
conversation, and she made the commitment. So whenever she's in town,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold her to it. Like, and thank you for honoring your word too. I think
No problem.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Let's get to rapid fire.
Yes. Okay.
Don't think, just answer.
Yeah. So this is how we pretty much end the show. It's very similar to how you guys did it, but for me, I just have some different questions.
Sweet.
You like it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. All right. So what's your go-to food at the arena?
Like if I was at an arena.
If you have you ever had any of the concessions like?
Yeah, probably just popcorn.
Oh, the kettle corn's the bomb.
Yeah.
If anybody catches me and my wife doing we have a ritual between periods 1 and 2, and we go for the popcorn. That and the fuego fries.
And by the way, he's always late to second period.
Not true. I was actually heading down the stairs just before it hit 0, just because I wasn't in my seat when it had happened. But I'm getting better.
On time is late.
I'm getting better. What's your go-to meal in the Valley, or what's your favorite restaurant?
Right now it's Portavia.
Strong.
Yeah.
You were just there.
We were.
Yeah.
We were just there.
Yeah, you were. What's on your radio come game day?
Oh, on the way to the arena, yeah.
Yeah, come game day. What are you pumping?
It all depends what I'm feeling that day. Usually I like some rap, like Future or Ghana.
Nice.
Yeah.
Strong. All right. So what does a treat yourself day look like for Ryker Evans?
Maybe a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
What flavor?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Nice, my man.
Yeah.
Strong. Are you a DC or MCU guy?
A DC or an MCU?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what
I know.
that means.
I love it. So so DC Comics, right?
Yeah.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, or MCU, right? Marvel, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. The Avengers.
Probably DC.
You're a DC person? Okay, great. So that leads into my next question. Who's your favorite superhero?
Probably Batman.
Nice.
Why?
I don't know. I like his black outfit. Pretty cool outfit.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah. What other profession other than what you do now would you have liked to try or done?
I think firefighting's pretty cool. I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right, last one. What's your favorite curse word?
I don't know. I throw a lot around.
Really? Because you seem like a guy that doesn't swear at all.
Right. That's kind of yeah. So, but I mean, you have to have a go-to. Like, what's your golden gem?
Like, I say it?
Feel free,
It's
dude.
not-
It's
there's
yeah.
no
This
FCC
is the part
regulations.
where the parents in the car they turn the
Yes.
volume down. We
Turn
do
the
have a
volume down.
disclaimer.
Yep.
So this is the moment, but let it rip.
Probably just like shit. Like, oh shit. Like,
Oh shit.
yeah.
That's where we're at.
Most times, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong. Well, Ryker, seriously, man, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
in.
This was a great interview.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we usually ask all our guests, but would you be willing to come back and do this again?
Yeah.
That's
we'll do
great.
it again. Yeah, it was awesome.
I appreciate it and appreciate your time. And we let the other boys know how much, obviously we're big fans, clearly. But we have really nothing but the most respect for how you guys showed up, what you brought to the Valley, just the attitude. It's a great reflection, I think, of a lot of folks that live here and work here and just on a day-to-day grind.
Yeah.
So the way you guys play and showed up and your professionalism and all those things and how gracious you guys are, just everything across the board. I mean,
and in case they don't know what they've done or what this whole thing has done for the community, it's pretty huge, and I think it's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, the least we can do is just say thanks.
Yeah.
For that, we genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you guys don't have games because my voice is finally coming back. It's gone after.
I'm a
every
little
game.
sad that we don't have so many games stacked up, but I know you guys are going to be
Yeah.
playing on Saturday, and then you come back the following week, and so we get to see you again.
Yeah, Tuesday, yeah.
And I think Halloween night's going to be just off the chain. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
It's going to be a show.
Yeah.
So
That'll be
So
a
now
good
while
time.
you're
we look forward to it.
while you're tearing it up in Tucson, just for 1 second, just know I'm going to be pacing around my living room watching the game on AHL
That's right.
Network.
That's right.
Is that what goes on? You're pacing around?
Yeah, I can't. When I watch a game at home or in a hotel room, wherever I am, I can't sit. I have to have to pay. Ask my daughter.
That's funny.
Yeah, I pays.
It's real. We're
And my
all
buddy's
in.
like, dude, it's AHL. I'm like, fuck, it's our AHL.
It's real. Yeah.
It's our team. Yeah. So.
Well, thanks again, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
And hey, man.
Oh,
go.
can we get a Go Birds from you?
Yeah.
Like, let's go Firebirds.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your best go? Let's go Firebirds.
Oh, I'm not as good as Dan. Like doing the
does he have a
bird
good
call.
one?
I just got the bird call.
You have a bird call?
No, I don't.
Okay. Can you just say Go Birds or give us a good?
Because
Yeah.
whatever you're about to do is going to end up on TikTok. So.
All right. Let's go Firebirds.
Let's
Good
go
enough.
Birds.
Good enough. Go Birds.
That's awesome.
See ya. Thanks, dog.
Awesome.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. If you're enjoying the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast on YouTube, be sure to drop a comment down below and hit that like button. Also, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out when a new episode drops. The Firebirds Fan Zone podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and a whole bunch of other podcast platforms. So, however you get your weekly dose of the Firebirds Fan Zone podcast, we invite you to share it across all your socials. And you can follow us on Instagram at Firebirds Fan Zone Podcast. And on Facebook, just search, guess what? Firebirds Fan Zone Podcast. The Firebirds Fan Zone Podcast is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether you're buying or selling, whether it's for your forever home or that quiet desert vacation getaway, Kyle Garman and the team at Keller Williams have the experience and skill to make that process simple and convenient. Check them out today at kylegarman.kw.com. Our podcast is also brought to you by desertdefenselawyers.com, DUI and criminal defense throughout the Coachella Valley. The criminal justice system is scary and confusing, but relief is just a click away at desertdefenselawyers.com. We've been keeping folks out of the penalty box since 2008.